the Custard TV podcast, brought to you by your friends at www.thecustardtv.com. Yes,
there's actually an extra W.
WW. And there's a dot.
We don't muck about with more than enough W's than we need.
Can I start again then? Can I start again, yeah?
No.
No, I'm doing it. It's the Custard TV podcast, brought to you by your friends at http:// the people at the website that bring you the telly news that you love. We're them.
Digital Spy?
No, not them.
Radio Times?
No. ITV, no.
Guardian TV?
No.
Independent TV and radio?
That's probably shut down.
InsideMediaTrack.com?
The Independent has no longer exists in a
but
paper.
They're still online. They still exist.
Yeah.
My cousin works for them as the online editor.
TheCustardTV.com?
Yeah, why not?
That's them, yeah.
Them.
Yeah.
I'm that bloke down south.
Always the 11th site you try.
Always.
That's what it says on the...
That's our new slogan.
The 11th side.
I'm the bloke down south who can't get things right. Luke's the one who's never here. That's the one that moves a lot. There you are. That's pretty much it.
No, I liked when you called Luke the one in the middle before.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
The Luke's the one in the middle.
Because that makes it sound if I roll over, one of you will fall out.
Yeah, because Gary's centre of gravity is fantastic, so it won't be him.
Plus Matt always moves. Hey!
Luke.
Hey everybody, here's our star.
Gary.
I'd never heard of him before today.
And Matt.
He's a professional.
Talking telly.
Try it, just for 1 week. Just try the program for 1 week.
This is the Custard TV podcast.
You know all this stuff in the news about the SATs?
Oh, yeah.
You know, and what with Matt being...
Yeah, I'm in this school. Well, they leaked it the day that they were taking the SATs. I was in the school the day they took that SAT that they'd leaked.
Oh.
So, have you seen this question that, even though I know the answer, still blows my mind?
I haven't seen any of the questions or anything.
No, neither
Okay,
have I,
this is the leaked question.
Okay.
Go.
Which a lot of people can't get through. This is for 7-year-olds.
Is this
I'm
the
gonna read
7-year-old one or the 10-year-olds?
7-year-olds.
Okay.
If we're already struggling with numbers on the question, I don't think we're going to do very well. There were some people on a train. 19 people got off the train at the first stop, but 17 people got on. There are now 63 people on the train. How many people were on the train to begin with?
65.
Yeah.
Gary's right, and Matt's right for agreeing.
Yeah.
Mathematics.
19 minus 7. 19 minus 7 is 2 plus.
Most people, in the answer to this, funnily enough, it's in the Independent, oddly.
Right.
Most people say 46.
Most people are plonkers.
Most people are
That's
plonkers.
Gary, because you're doing all those puzzles in Costa Coffee where people...
Yeah, that's right. I'm keeping my mind active at my old age. When I was young, we used
The 11
to...
plus.
No, not only that. We did times tables quiz. 2 people
They
at the
still
front of
do
the
that.
class.
They
They still do times tables
You
quiz.
wouldn't need a bit of paper if you did the times
Well,
tables
they
quiz.
don't
And I
do
won.
times
I won
table
a
quizzes anymore. It's like shootouts. They do...
Well,
Well, you hear about
Teacher
these school
teacher
shootings
does a-
all the
teacher
time.
does a question, and it's like...
Me and Sally Raymer were always at the front, and I beat her a lot of times.
Okay.
The TV podcast, if you couldn't guess that bit, where we talk about the news, the reviews. I go west, apparently, and we talk about some of the best of the week. And there should be a quiz, but there isn't this week.
I think
Okay.
we should start with the news and this one that says new BBC question mark.
Yeah, I like that. New BBC. That it was Charter Renewal Day today.
Yeah.
We're going to have to pay to use the iPlayer. BBC One's...
Whoa. Only if you don't have a licence fee.
Well, yeah.
What's this we? They think I've not got a licence. I've got a licence.
I don't.
I'm saying-
Yeah, but not that sort of license, man. It doesn't. You've still got to pay for it whether you're on license or not. That's a different thing altogether.
Okay.
Is it? I
Carry
thought
on.
it came
Yeah.
free with the TV licence.
No, it's different. So also the BBC are, according to this new ruling, not allowed to buy foreign shows if other channels want
no
them.
more Borgans and...
No more Borgans. No, unfortunately. Not if other channels show an interest in them. Now, if other channels don't want them, then the BBC can get first dibs.
Channel
But
4,
Right.
obviously, have got the old Walter Presents now.
one thing that I saw, which really got my proverbial goat up. Hang on, let me see.
Got your goat up. Why was he asleep?
He was sleeping.
No, what? Let me rephrase that. BBC shouldn't buy overseas shows that other free-to-air broadcasters are willing to pay for.
So that means most of them. So and they can go for anything that Sky would want, but not anything.
Is that like the format? Is that like like The Voice, for example?
But this one, I really want your opinion on. The government won't tell the BBC where to schedule their programmes, but they should carefully consider negative impacts on ITV.
I think ITV are doing all right for themselves on that one without BBC.
Yeah, they've got their own negative. But how is that right?
It's basically saying don't schedule Strictly Come Dancing against the X Factor.
Yeah,
that's what that's saying.
Is that because somebody in the government can't record one of them?
Yeah, someone got
a TiVo.
I'm guessing that this is the government trying to say, we're not interfering with the BBC by actually interfering with the BBC.
It's like, don't go buying another foreign format again, like The Voice. Don't go.
But they also don't want us to fill BBC 4 with Scandinavian drama either, which is annoying.
Let's face it. If it's not, then really that's gonna kill
documentaries
people,
about clouds and a constant
Rain
stream of canal boats.
The only good thing to come out of it is the fact that there won't be any cuts to the BBC budget, but they're pretty low as it is.
They're pretty low, and also now they're saying that anyone who earns over a certain threshold has to be announced. I saw that.
What was it, like 450,000?
Yeah. I mean, Chris Evans was the funny one. He came out today and said they should all pay us less. Well, I'm sure your
Chris
agent...
Evans and funny, not usually.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. No. But I'm sure your agent, Chris, will be happy to negotiate a smaller salary.
I think it's a well-known fact. It's not exactly breaking news that people who do what I do for a living, compared to people in the real world, get paid too much money. You know, we've got jobs that people would kill for, but we get to do things that people would pay to do if they could afford it, and sometimes those things aren't even available to buy. Most of us work part-time anyway, so just pay us less. That's what I would do. It's not rocket science.
The big thing to come away from this is the governing body of the BBC, which the BBC Trust, no longer exists. So now
they've set up
they have to follow these guidelines.
Similar.
But it's not going to be. But it's going to be managed by Ofcom, isn't it? So
this will be, I guarantee, the highest rate. I was going to say this is going to be the highest rated new series of W1A that's ever been. Everybody will tune into that program and see what they've managed to say about it and get away with, because it's going to be fascinating.
Well, yeah, but
did this really need to happen? I don't know.
On a decent time or a decent channel, that'll have to be BBC 4 at midnight.
Does this really need to happen? I'm not au fait with how all this stuff works, but I doubt it needs to happen.
We'll abolish this thing that people are complaining about and just start a similar thing.
It's a bit like The Sun on Sunday. You know, we don't like the news of the world. They recorded people's phone calls, so we'll get rid of it and replace it, leave it for a couple of weeks, and then bring it back as the same thing with a different name.
Line of Duty will return. We knew this was coming back for Series 4. It's now coming back for Series 5. It says season there. I'm ignoring it.
Okay.
It's moving to BBC One, which is a good thing.
Yes.
But I do sort of think, and I know I've said this a lot on Twitter, and we may have even had this discussion before, does it not undermine BBC Two a little bit?
No. No, this has felt like a BBC One show for the last year.
No, I disagree.
I have to say, I think the whole BBC channels now have become so homogenised.
They're so blurred, aren't they? Yeah.
There's no. I don't think any of them have any identity anymore, especially since now, like, Charlotte Moore is the head of just all of the channels. There's no individual.
Yeah, and I think that means, but now you've got rid of BBC Three on the free to air stuff. I think they want the main BBC channels to feel more like, with you don't need to have to watch just one. You can programs are able to be watched.
But then, as Luke's next point will probably be, that people still will go to BBC One first and to ITV first, and then that backs up this move. Then the thing is, though, it's like saying, this show has got it's record viewing figures for BBC Two or something. How they worked it out, it's a bit odd. So now it's got so many viewers, we can move it to BBC.
We're going to move it across because we want those viewers.
Yeah, more people will watch it presumably.
Which you could understand before the whole sort of.
But
then
you
could understand when they moved Only Connect from BBC 4 to BBC 2 because more people watch.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, if it hadn't got those viewers,
it'd still be on T.
Even though moving it to 1 would still have got it more viewers.
Yeah.
Makes
because
no sense.
there's still a complete stigma for some reason about what a BBC 2 show is, what a Channel 4 show is. You know, people have their own perception. I do think, and I didn't get a chance to talk to you about the Line of Duty finale, which was absolutely fantastic. I do think he did miss a trick not having a sort of cliffhanger, but I suppose if he had an inkling that it was moving to another channel, you need to start a little bit fresh, don't you?
Well, that's right, and don't forget, although this series would not have been a good one to move to BBC One because, of course, it continued on from storylines from the previous 2 series, which some people wouldn't have watched. Whereas I get the impression now that storyline, the whole caddy, you know, those kind of things, is now put to bed. Really, what you're going to get the next 2 years is another possible 2-series long storyline with these characters and more.
My initial thought was I hope that it doesn't damage the show. I don't think that BBC One would show the Savile picture, for example.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that.
But I have spoken to Jed. I didn't put it up as a podcast because it was quite a quick sort of, and he's a very straight talker, quite a flat talker. But I don't see him being somebody to compromise on his vision. So I would hope that if they've made the decision to move to BBC One, that Jed's on board and they're not going to make him make too many changes to what will likely be a very strong script. Can you talk about this Philip K. Dick adaptation?
Yes, let me just get the article up because a lot of the information is there. Philip K. Dick, as many people may or may not know, is a great science fiction short story writer, and a lot of his short stories have been made into films, and not the names of the films that you would expect. So the most important one, obviously, is Blade Runner, which was do Android's Dream of Electric Sheep as a short story. He also wrote the book that was Running Man and things like that. Thank you very much. So I think
that was almost poetic there for the northern area.
Channel 4 have thought, you know, we got a great hit with Humans last year. Let's look at getting something along those lines.
Especially as they've lost Black Mirror now as well.
Well, that's right. And what they've done is this is a co-production between them and Sony Pictures, and it's going to be directed or written by Ronald D. Moore, who did the very successful Battlestar Galactica remake, and Michael Dinner, who's just finished working on Justified, which was also very good. And the amazing thing, what they've managed to do, is convince Bryan Cranston to come out of kind of TV retirement and appear in these, which I think is incredibly amazing, considering that he sort of almost said that he was going to move into the world of films exclusively. It's going to be called Electric Dreams, The World of Philip K. Dick, and they're all going to be standalone science fiction episodes.
But all with the same cast?
All with a very similar cast and possibly very sort of similar themes. And it's going to air on Channel 4 in this country, as we say. There's no idea yet where it will show in America, but I imagine the major networks will scramble to do something like this because of the draw of Bryan Cranston.
Gary, head it west.
Okay.
Before Gary does his reviews, I'm almost itching in my itchy places to know whether you've finished The Good Wife or not.
I have.
Has it finished?
Can we get a non-spoilery review? Because the thing is that I've read it's disappointing.
I would agree.
It's
very much that they've tried to mirror the first episode, the first scene, but doing it a bit differently where she's moved on, and they're trying to suggest that she's almost turned into Peter rather than, you know, trying to distance
But was that completely out of the blue, or did they set it up throughout the series this year?
Not really. There's a lot of stuff that they didn't wrap up and a lot of sort of ambiguity. And Luke, your favourite as well, in the final episode, they bring back a ghost as well. The character comes back as a ghost.
Oh, God. Do you know they stole that from New Tricks? I knew there was a lot of parallels between The Good Wife and New Tricks. I've always said it.